Wardell Stephen Curry II versus LeBron Raymond James Sr. A battle of the game's two undisputed best players, a battle of debatably two of the top three players of all time. Two four-time champions at the back end of their careers, yet whose prime days seem to never stray away. Having covered both the Lakers and Warriors all playoffs and for a majority of the second half of the 22-23 season, this will be a contradicting series for your boy D-Flow. In the fifth career playoff matchup between Steph and LeBron, Curry enters this second round battle with a 3-1 record in terms of series wins. These two would meet up in what would become an annual finals matchup in the late 2010s, as Steph's Warriors and LeBron's Cavaliers would meet up in the finals for 4 straight years from 2015 to 2018. The reason that 3-1 advantage for Steph isn't the most accurate portrayal of who's gotten the upper hand between these two superstars specifically is obviously the fact that basketball is a team game. 2023 may be the first time LeBron has had a better or an even team around him in these matchups in comparison to Steph. From not having a healthy Kyrie next to him in 2017's finals, who was on a bad hamstring, to not having a single star next to him in 2015's finals without both Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving, to having to deal with the antics of J.R. Smith in 2018, and not having another top-tier star next to him that year as well, with Kyrie having moved on to the Celtics at that point. The current cast of Lake Show teammates that LeBron has around him should allow him to compete more consistently with the firepower of the Warriors. With that said, the Chef's proven that he can win without Kevin Durant. In his 2015 Finals victory, albeit with Andre Iguodala robbing him of Finals MVP that year, Curry didn't have KD next to him. So Steph's 3-1 record against LeBron does hold some validity. Point of all of this context for you is, with Game 1 of the 2023 Western Conference Semis tipping off in merely a few hours, you're about to witness the most even playing field that either all-time player has had to work with. Therefore, this year's edition of LeBron vs. Steph may finally be the true test of greatness. Stay tuned for a full breakdown of the matchup that you can't miss. Before that, just 15.2% of you watching are subscribed, so please subscribe. Also, splash thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and follow at DFlowHoops on Instagram and Twitter. Let's get into the matchups that both top players in Wardell and LeBron will have to deal with, and go from there. LeBron James will have to deal with the likes of Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins, with potentially smaller matchups in the pesky Gary Payton II being able to bother him at times. This will be far from an easy series for LeBron to get inside and or favorable matchups switched onto him when you consider the likes of Jonathan Kuminga and Andre Iguodala could potentially see time on him in this series as well. That said, the majority of the LeBron responsibility will be tasked to Wiggs and Dre. How Andrew, who seems a lot skinnier than he was before going on his prolonged leave of absence, will hold LeBron in check down low in the post, and how the LeBron fanboy and Draymond, who's much less laterally quick than Andrew out on the perimeter, will stay in front of James, albeit who's not as explosive as he was a few years ago, is a real question mark for Golden State, in my opinion. So stopping or slowing down Bron will be left to the game planning of Steve Kerr. Luckily for Warrior fans, your coach is an undefeated 19-0 in Western Conference playoff series. He's also going up against a rookie head coach in Darvin Ham. Meanwhile, Stephen Curry will have the chance to expose less quicker matchups when the Lakers play switch defense, because playing drop coverage against Steph, as the Celtics tried to in 2022's finals, is an experiment that definitely didn't go as planned. If you're Darvin Ham, you probably want to play a mix of both drop and switch defense. Then, if Curry starts cooking heavily, you can go full Nick Nurse style with a box and one, or just straight blitz him. Either way, Steph's gonna Steph, in all likelihood. The two X factors for each team, firstly for the Lakers, will be Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. For AD, as Charles Barkley mentioned, his consistency is very unpredictable. He's been a shot-blocking force and a beast on the glass consistently, but his volume of shots from deep range has fallen off. a shot they'll need him to take and make when open to match the volume of the Splash Brothers and company. Either that, or he'll have to avoid the games where he shoots well below average from the field. In Game 2 against Memphis, Davis shot 4 for 14, and in Game 4, he shot just 4 for 13. They would barely win Game 4, as they needed heroics from LeBron to win an OT, and they lost Game 2 in that other AD off night by double digits to Memphis. The battle between Davis and Kevon Looney will be a matchup I'll have my eye on, as will AD's height advantage be the factor allowing Anthony to shoot over the top of Kevon, or will it be the scrappy hustle and weight advantage of Looney that'll have the upper hand? For D'Angelo Russell, he definitely isn't the lefty Steph as I compared him to a while back, which was very off base. However, D'Lo must be somewhat efficient when he does decide to take it off the bounce, coming off pin downs and on balls to let it fly from deep range. D'Angelo was benched at times throughout round 1, and it's a good sign that he didn't impact the team chemistry in those moments, but he's going to have to be a lot better than he was in the Memphis series if LA is going to have a chance. Good news for Laker fans is the man had his best game of the series to close out the Grizz in Game 6, dropping 31. Then for the Warriors, the two X Factors will be Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole. Klay's playing the team he grew up rooting for, given his dad and Michael Thompson played for the Lakers, an opportunity he's stated that he's waited quote-unquote 12 years for. If it's as big as a moment that Thompson's made it out to be, he's going to be feeling the pressure to come through on his self-proclaimed biggest stage. Problem is, he shot a brutal 4 for 19 from the field in the Dubs' last game against the Kings, which included shooting 2 for 10 from deep, shooting flow which won't help his confidence entering this series against LA. Defensively, meanwhile, that side of the floor is where the four-time champ has been a massive bright spot. Kerr pointed out how good Thompson was on that end in Game 7 in Sacramento. Proof of that showed up in the fact that he was a team-high plus 30 despite his shooting struggles. You could argue the second X factor for Golden State is Kevon Looney, but Jordan Poole stepping up and turning back into the guy he was for the Dubs during the regular season, which was a 20-plus point per game guy, that or just not having momentary lapses where he goes in for inadvertent lay-ins and triggers fast break opportunities for the Lakers like he did fairly often against the Kings, means everything for the Dubs. We'll see how Jordan responds to the doubters, haters, and skeptics from a wide variety of sources, pressure which hasn't gotten the best of him thus far, but instead weighed down on him. So there's question marks and unpredictabilities for both sides, but what isn't up in the air is the fact that both LA and Golden State's collective journeys to get to this second round have been pretty incredible. For the Warriors, they're the first number 6 seed with home court advantage since 1987. For the Lakers, they changed half their roster mid-season. The Warriors started the season with 3 wins and 7 losses, while the Lakers started with 2 wins and 10 losses to kick off the 22-23 campaign. While the Lakers took 3 games out of 4 from the Dubs during the season, 0 of those 4 outings took place with either team at full strength. Both teams were completely different in the opening game between these two teams on October 18th, when the Warriors won by 14. Then, both LeBron and Steph were out when the Lakers won on February 11th. Golden State was missing Wiggins and Steph in their 13-point L to the Lakers on February 23rd. And most recently on March 5th, the Warriors were without Wiggins and Gary Payton, plus the Lakers were without LeBron in LA's 8-point win at Crypto. Ultimately, we could talk about X factors, matchups, and game planning all we want. This will come down to a battle of each team's megastar. The legendary matchup will all be squarely focused on LBJ and Steph. These two luminaries have combined for 8 championships, 6 MVPs, 5 finals MVPs, in addition to 63 playoff wins and merely 15 losses over the years. The two all-time greats undisputedly have the greatest legacies of any two players in the modern era, and quite frankly, it's not close. It's been an honor to cover two of the greatest hoopers to ever step on a basketball court, and nothing will ever change the gratefulness any of us ultimately have for getting to witness them lace them up simultaneously. However, with both superstars having displayed they've got more than plenty left in the tank, and their respective supporting casts having proven they hold the requisite force to take down two capable up-and-comers in the second-seeded Ja Morant Grizz if you're LA, and the team who posted the greatest offensive rating of all time in the third-seeded De'Aaron Fox-fueled Kings if you're Golden State, the recreation ground is as evenly matched as it's ever been to give us an all-time battle between the king and the chef.